Today is the National Unity Day. This day is marked throughout the country to commemorate the unprecedented national unity shown by the fraternal citizens during the aftermath of the 2004 Asian tsunami. Throughout the nation today, citizens came out to the streets to observe a minute of silence.
The minute of silence was observed at 9:20 this morning, the time recorded as the first swells hit the country 6 years ago. All across the country, people came out to the streets to observe the minute of silence in remembrance of the lives lost to the devastation. In the capital Male, a larger number of government employees came out to observe the minute of silence at the Central Administrative Region near Velanage. Other activities to mark this day include a photo exhibition and arts performance held yesterday at the surfing area in Lunziarekoro. A children's evening was also held yesterday. This afternoon, the Maldives National Disaster Management Center and Maldivian Red Crescent aired a panel discussion on disaster readiness where MNBC won. In addition, a wall of remembrance is to be built in all islands to depict the day. The Maldivian Red Crescent also held activities in Gulf Tinadu. After the observance of the National Minute of Silence, residents participated in printing fingerprints on a map of Tinadu and writing different messages related to the day. MRC informs that these messages will be published as a book in the near future. On behalf of the President, former Education Minister Dr. Mustafa Lutfi addressed the nation. In his address, he called on all Maldivians to show the same unity in upholding the constitution of the country to reach the new democratic heights the country now gears towards.
Today, we are all trying to do the same thing. We are trying to sustain and observe our constitution, to cherish and uphold the freedoms, basic human rights and development it guarantees, to protect our vulnerable environment. We can only achieve these goals if we re-embrace the characters of our Maldivianness.
President Mohammad Nasheed also participated in the minute of silence observed to mark the anniversary of the 2004 tsunami. President Nasheed joined the Maldives National Defense Force staff at the Borfaktakurfan Magu in front of Karatukala Koshi to observe the minute of silence. Speaking after the observing of the minute of silence, President Nasheed noted that the tsunami was the largest, most catastrophic natural disaster ever to hit the Maldives. He also spoke on the extensive damage and destruction caused by the tsunami in the Maldives. The President acknowledged the assistance provided by the Maldives National Defense Force to the people of the country in their time of dire need following the tsunami. In last week's radio address, President Nasheed reaffirmed the government's continued commitment to providing permanent shelter for the remaining tsunami-displaced persons. 6 years after the tsunami, a number of people still live in temporary shelters. Chief Coordinator of the National Disaster Management Center, Abdullah Shahid, says the next group of people to receive permanent housing are the residents of Lamu Mabadu. Now, the National Disaster Management Center has been tirelessly looking after the victims since 2004. At present, all permanent housing has been given for, except 50 housing units have either been completed or is under construction. Right now, 298 houses are built in Gulf Alif Atoll. This includes houses built in Willingili, Dandu, Mamendu and Nilandu. Abdullah Shahid, the Chief Coordinator of NMDC, says 25% of work is complete and the whole project in Gulf Alif can be completed by the end of 2011. In Ta Madifushi, 78 houses are being built. NMDC says 11% of this project is complete. In Madifushi, another 42 housing units are to be built for the victims. In Mabadu, a total of 45 houses need to be built to house the victims. NMDC says 55% of this project is complete. Therefore, the next group of people to move into their permanent houses would be the residents of Lamu Mabadu. Work is expected to be completed by April 2011. Among the people who lived in temporary housing for the longest period of time includes the people of Memo Kolufushi. Work on building 160 housing units in Kolufushi has now been handed over to MTCC. Earlier this year, the government stopped all funding for the victims of living in temporary shelters. The government made this decision to empower the victims and to eradicate their habit of reliance on external aid. Aid is only given to residents in temporary shelters in Kolufushi. At the moment, they only receive electricity subsidies at 420 million rupiah per person per month. In the aftermath of the tsunami, more than 20,000 people were displaced. 6 years on, only 1,600 people remain in temporary shelters. The deadly tsunami that broke havoc to the tiny nation was due to a 9.2 magnitude strong earthquake that hit the coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. This tsunami left 83 people dead and 24 people still remain unaccounted for.
1,600 people still remain in temporary shelters after the deadly tsunami of 2004. A third of the population was severely affected by the tsunami, while more than 90% of the population was either directly or indirectly affected by it. 53 islands endured major damage. Some saw total destruction. This includes Kanduludu of Raitol. 6 years on, residents of Kanduludu now live in a relocated safe island of Duafaru. In December 2008, residents of Kanduludu landed on their new home. It took 13 days for the whole relocation process. At present, all families except for 45 houses are inhabited. These 45 houses are to be built under the 2011 state budget. The Disaster Management Center says all basic facilities are now available in Duafaru. Another island which faced total destruction was Wilfushi. Residents of Wilfushi were given new homes and came back home in May 2009. All families except for 5 live in the newly made homes in Wilfushi now. These 5 homes is also included in the state budget of 2011. Funding has also been secured for the water systems to be built in the island. NDMC says this project has now been sent to the tender board. The only island which remained in its post-tsunami condition is Memo Kolufushi. Over the past 6 years, work was disrupted and halted at many stages, but NDMC says construction can begin in the replanning zone within this coming week. In the aftermath of the tsunami, 19 resorts were destroyed. All resorts have since then finished reconstruction and started operations. The Asian tsunami was the most heartbreaking natural disaster the country has faced in its recorded history. Experts believe this disaster was overcome only due to the strong fraternities and brotherly spirit that the whole country showed in its aftermath.
We now move into some other local news. Vice Leader of DRP Umar Nasir sends in more evidence to the Anti-Corruption Commission of Party Leader Ahmed Tasmin Ali and Parliament Speaker Abdullah Shahid, allegedly taking tickets from the GMR company. Umar Nasir, who is under investigation for expulsion by DRP's disciplinary committee, said this new evidence proves that the ticket to Tasmin and Shahid was also issued by the same company who issued tickets to local media who travelled to Delhi to cover the opening of GMR's Delhi Terminal 5. The alleged documents, according to Umar, were issued by FMC Travel Solutions. Umar also handed in copies of tickets issued to some journalists who covered the event. Umar is presenting evidence to the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate allegations of bribes by leaders of the opposition. Leader of DRP Ahmed Tasmin Ali defeats former President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom in a poll conducted by DFM, asking its audience on who could lead the party from its current internal disputes. CEO of DFM Masood Hilmi said in a poll asking who could peacefully resolve the internal disputes within DRP and lead the party towards a peaceful future, Tasmin won the poll with a difference of over 100,000 votes. Leader Tasmin got 280,334 votes, while former President Maumoon got only 111,911 votes. Over the course of the last 7 days, over 300,000 listeners cast their opinion via SMS to the poll of DFM. This poll was conducted by DFM during a time of vast disputes within DRP, leading to 2 factions operating within the party. This includes a faction supporting leader Ahmad Tasmin Ali and a faction supporting vice leader Umar Nasir, whose case is filed in the disciplinary committee calling for his expulsion from the party. A faction of Umar calls for Tasmin to revoke his candidacy for the 2013 presidential elections and nominate former President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom to be nominated as DRP's candidate for the 2013 presidential elections. A memorial service marking the 6th anniversary of the 2004 deadly tsunami and honoring the victims were held across the island of Phuket in Thailand today. The December 26th Asian tsunami in 2004 killed an estimate of 230,000 people in 12 Indian Ocean nations, ranging from Thailand to Sri Lanka. The victims of the tsunami were honored by local Thais who gathered for a Buddhist ceremony in the island's district of Patong. Under the memorial organized by the Phuket Japanese Association together with the Japanese embassy was held at Kamala Beach, where a lot of Japanese tourists died. More than 5,300 people were killed in Thailand, many of them foreign tourists.